Everyone, this is Anna from Lexingview Journals. Hope everybody's well. You have seen me quite a few times now lately. I have managed to catch up with work. As Christmas is approaching, I have a couple of projects in mind that will be quite exciting and they will take a little bit longer. So I thought I could use the holiday, Christmas holiday, for that. And I can indulge myself in doing a bit of more research on them. So who doesn't get excited and inspired by the idea of Antarctica? I have always had it in my mind since I was very young. Antarctica, a dream voyage to Antarctica, to the coldest part, the most unknown, the whitest part of this earth. And I always thought that I would definitely love to be in one of those expeditions that happened all those years ago. So I decided, after a couple of comments from the previous archivist, I decided to do a journal on the Antarctic expeditions. So I chose this marbled paper. It's got this grey, icy look about it with bits of red in it. I did the typical archivist look that I like to have. Instead of tying it, I added this elastic, which is gently loose, but at the same time it's quite tight. So one can fill the journal without worrying about the elastic tear. This is an explorer's journal, and I will show you the spine. I left it completely simple, because whoever owns it is not interested in intricacy, but wants it to be simple and to the point. It's a research journal. So this is part one. I will have part two as well of these expeditions. This belongs to somebody who is very, very interested in finding out what happened in the Frank expedition, which was a very well-known expedition that went wrong, very wrong. And I have been researching it, and I have found quite a few things about it. So I am introducing it today, along with other expeditions. And then on my next journal, I will give you a little bit more detail on what exactly it was all about. So it's not just exclusively the Franklin expedition. It is a research journal on a few different expeditions in the past, and it will lead eventually to the question of what happened during the Franklin expedition, because a lot of these went really, really wrong and people died. They were never found. They disappeared. And that's a normal thing that at the time, because of course there was no proper means of communication. Anyway, let's get into this. So what I've got here, let me just make sure it's all in good view, because I've got to make sure you can see everything. So anyway, I think we're okay here. The inside part, because took me a while to decide what to use in the inside as end papers, but in the end I used this very subtle grey which matches the cover. And this is a map of the National Antarctic Expedition, 1902, 1903 and 1904, and I printed it on this really thin paper, and I've attached it with this, and this is like a band. It's not elastic, but it's like a band, so it can slip through and one can open and have a look. This is it's from Hotel St. Regis, 1938, and it is they had some kind of a conference among the speakers. Franklin, who was in charge of the expedition that was ill-fated. So I added this in the front of the journal of this person who is collecting all the information on the different expeditions. And this is some graph paper, perfect for designing all these the maps and everything in case one needs it. Quite thick paper, this. And wow, look at this! I just thought this is just perfect for for this kind of book. So this is a photograph of an expedition to the South Pole. Sorry. And there's a flag there. So it's an old photograph. Might put it in there. Show you. This is a photographer, and he was in an expedition in 1910-1912 to the Antarctic. It says here, Captain Scott's South Pole expedition. So he was in that expedition. Unfortunately, it all went wrong with that one as well. He was also lost. They named it Terra Nova Expedition, and the leader was Robert Falcon Scott, who wanted to be the first to arrive there. Unfortunately for them, a Norwegian team, this is a British team, the Norwegian team arrived before them, and they beat them by 34 days. But the actual party of our party here was made of 4 people, and unfortunately they were all lost. And their journals were found 8 months later. And they were backed up by the Royal Geographical Society and other organizations, but it was a private one. Look at that camera he's got. Crazy. Amazing. So we've got more information now of this paper. I thought it was really, really cool for this type of thing. Information on other ill-fated expeditions here that our archivist is gathering. There's another one, looks like a balloon. And this is another team that organized an expedition. This guy's in Norwegian. His name was Frigid Nansen. I don't speak Norwegian. So he was a scientist and a diplomat, and he led an expedition in 1893 and 1896. So it took this time, and he inspired an Anundsen's South Pole expedition, and I'll get to that in a minute. But he was a very well known researcher. And this is a geographical chart with all kinds of information, and I thought I'd add that because it's very suitable and it's also really attractive. It's gorgeous printed on this very deeply dyed paper, so it looks really old. I mean, this journal looks like it's been through a bit, and that's the idea. That's why I used whatever paper I had that was very deeply tea dyed, coffee dyed. I used it. This was found. I liked the scan very much, the way it was scanned, so I used this one. There are a lot of copies. This paper is from the actual Franklin expedition, and it was found later on by Francis Leopold McClintock's expedition team, cairn on King William Island in 1859, detailing the fate of the Franklin expedition. It was written on a standard Admiralty form, and there are 2 visible messages. It actually says whoever finds it to forward it to the Secretary of the Admiralty in London, with a note of the time and place at which it was found, or, if more convenient, to deliver it for that purpose to the British consul at the nearest port. The people who signed and left notes on it wanted it covered, hoping that there would be some light to explain exactly what happened to their expedition. I'm going to include the information in the journal with it. So, but also one can read very well the handwriting, and well, the handwriting not so well, but that's also written in the note that I've got. But one can read the typed, whatever has been typed, and it has been typed in different languages, so it's quite interesting. So it's important for our researcher to own this, to have it for his work. This is a stamp and an envelope from another expedition. It was the Antarctic expedition, the second. It's lovely to open it and add one's own notes in it. And this is more of a later, let's say, edition. Laura. Just mark this paper. This is from a diary. And there are two pages. This diary belonged to Elisha Howley. It was a journal of the Crown Point Expedition, 1755, much older. New York Public Library, that's where one can get it from. It doesn't have all her diary, but it has scans of a few pages, which is nice to have. There's another one here. It says, Nansen shouting back that it was a walrus. A sea of ice. A sea of ice, yes, that's exactly the best way to describe it, really. This is a raggedy, and here are the boots that Admiral Byrd used for his expedition. Here, some fauna, the Franklin expedition. So yeah, so this is I liked. This is a little piece of leather that I found. I was at the bookbinders yesterday. God, whatever, any excuse I can find. Anytime I'm in London, I will always pop by and spend some money there. But they had some loose papers, bits and pieces, and they also had these beautiful, very, very fine leathers and little pieces. So I picked up a couple. I thought they would look nice. These are lovely as well. And this is a piece of material that I use for bags. Still got quite a bit, not much, but I've got a bit left. So I used a little bit onto this raggedy. And this is the other side. Yeah. This is a very old map of Scandinavia and the north. There's a side pocket here and another one. I'm just stating the obvious here. Yes. Look at that. This looks like a bead. It's like a bead necklace. A little bit more of this paper and the map. This is the same note from the Franklin expedition, and it's printed in this very fine paper, and I think it looks more like what the original would have looked like. It's another scan, and I decided to also print that one and add it because I like it very much. So this is a telegram that Byrd responded to take over the expedition that he was assigned to, and he was very happy to do that. So I've included that, and it's from Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd to the Bureau of Navigation, acknowledging his promotion to the rank of Rear Admiral for his first flight over the South Pole, and that was in 1929. So for these people, these things were just amazing. There's some more of this interesting coffee dyeing here, and some scanned paper. Here, let me see if I'm missing anything. No, look at that. I have something. Yes, this is the British Library, which I've used in a different Archivist. I think I love this. I probably will be using it in Archivists from now on because it's just stunning. Let's see what's here. This is a map of Antarctica, Bouvet Island, 1754. It's a discovery map, and it was used by Jean-Baptiste Bouvet de Lozier, and it was when he discovered the island of Bouvet. in 1739 and was based on his journals. This is the map of the southern lands between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic pole. So, good, beautiful map. And finally over here we have the Explorers Club bookplate and the N. So this is the journal. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope that it's something that that has inspired you to look more into the whole Antarctica expedition business. And there's so much out there to discover for us, so much to talk about. It's always fun to research all these different topics. So if we don't speak sooner, have a lovely weekend. I will try to fit in a crafting video, and we will talk again sometime next week. Thank you for watching. Take care. Oh, this journal is going to be up on Etsy tomorrow evening. Thursday. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow evening after 8 p.m, the usual time that I do it in the UK. So, lots of love. Bye-bye.